folks, and welcome back to the farm. It's a little late, about 9 o'clock. I just got back home. From Grand Prairie. Not from work, no. No. I wanted a buy and sell adventure. Came home empty-handed. I tell you, there's two kinds of people on the buy and sell. One of them's shady and the other one's shitty. I found the latter today, unfortunately. Anyways, I gotta shut the water off. Looks like the wife blew a garden hose here. But, trying to get some trees watered. Yeah, so I don't know what happened here, but that hose is, boy, oh boy, is that ever fat and swollen right there. And, well, it's a dual jacketed hose, right? Got the inner liner and an outer liner. It feels like something broke on the inner one. It got into the outer one and it's all swole up, stretched. So, I'll probably have to find somewhere back there where it's not damaged and cut it in half or something like that. If it's not already half a hose. That's a pretty good thing. That's a pretty good reason why you shouldn't leave the tap on your garden hoses, especially in warm weather like this. This was, I think, yeah, she must have just had it just cracked, watering some trees there. But, oh well, hopefully Costco has a sale on garden hoses again. Anyway, shitty people on the buy and sell. What's that all about? So, the other day, was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. We dropped my niece off at my sister-in-law's place, her house. Dropped my niece off at her house. And her brother was ripping around the yard in a little 50cc Yamaha dirt bike. And Charlotte saw that and she's just like, oh boy, like I really want a dirt bike. Like I really want a dirt bike. And I said to her, I said, well, you know, like you can't ride your pedal bike yet, so I mean maybe we should start there. And she's like, okay, yeah, no, I'm all over it. My wife and I got talking, and she'd actually gone on the buy and sell and found a couple little 50cc dirt bikes or whatever, and they're like $2,000, $2,500, something like that, right? And I'm thinking, I'm like, man, like, you know, even if she does get to riding her pedal bike, like, I would rather than have four wheels, right? It's just a lot easier to stay facing the right direction when you got four wheels, not two, right? Less chance of injury. And I mean, you get ripping on those things and you can be spending the evening in the hospital pretty quick. So I was like, no, I think we should get like a little quad or something like that. So right away, the wife sends me an ad for a quad. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're serious about this. So I look up the ad, I message the guy, I said, hey, is it still available? And I'd like to come and take a look at it. He says, oh yeah, no, still available. I said, perfect. I said, can I come take a look at it? He said, yeah, I'll be home at 7:30 this evening. So I made arrangements to go look at it at 7:30. And I got to Grand Prairie about 7:30, went to the gas station, got some gas, messaged the guy, said, hey, just double checking, like, you're home from work, can I come look at the quad? Radio silence. So I'm just like, oh man, I don't get a good feeling about this. So then I'm like, well, you know what? He's out east of Grand Prairie, so I'll just go, you know, drive out towards Ritchie Brothers. I'll drive out to Ritchie Brothers, and then if the guy messages me that I'm not that far away. Anyways, an hour later, he finally messages me back and says, I'm not home. Maybe my wife's home. And I said, okay, well, like I'm just up the road at Ritchie Brothers, so just let me know, right? And then, you know, 15 minutes go by and he says, yeah, sorry about that. My wife sold the quad today. Sorry about that. And I thought, man, like that just doesn't seem above board. Like if I sold something for $2,500, like I would tell my wife instantly, especially in a situation like that where the husband has the listing. If the wife sells it and the husband holds the listing on the buy and sell, you would think that she would just tell him, hey, this is sold, done deal, take your ad down or whatever. Don't have a guy drive an hour and 15 minutes out here. Anyway, so I'm a little bit bitter about that, but we'll keep our eyes open. We'll keep our eyes open for the right deal. And maybe, just maybe eventually, the girls will get a new little buggy. And I mean, I'm not one for spoiling them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one for spoiling them, but We got a few things that are, useful. Like, I mean, we've got the side-by-side or whatever. We got the Skidoo. We're accumulating a few things that we can use for some recreational activities. But I thought, the dirt bike, you can't really use it for much more than 3 months of the year, but the quad, you could probably get at least 6, maybe 7 months of the year. I thought, okay, well, sure, the kids are getting a little bit, they're at that age where they might start taking an interest in doing chores and doing stuff outside on the farm, and the quad would be a little bit more functional than a little bike or something like that. It's kind of funny though, eh? Like growing up, I never had anything like that. Never had one of these things. Never had no. Kids today, I tell you. But I mean, guys really only got one job, and that's to make sure your kids just don't know how damn good they've got it. And I'm not up for spoiling them. I'm just up for making sure that they got a good quality of life and they get some enjoyment, and maybe they learn a lesson or two along the way. Anyway, speaking of having fun and learning a lesson along the way, boy, did I ever learn a lesson or two today. I was trying to get, just before supper there, well, it was right at supper time, the wife was screaming at me, come in for supper. And I was just like, I'll be right there. I was trying to get the yellow tractor running. So I picked up some brake cleaner, not Brake Clean brand, but some other brand, anyways, from PV Mart or I can't remember where I got it from. Anyways, I got some of that, and I got some Seafoam, and I was trying to get that carb cleaned out, and I got some plug jets, and I was just, I wonder if I could spray this in there and just, magically it would just unplug itself, So sprayed some all up inside the carb, and then sprayed some and, throw to the intake inside kind of where the air filter is or whatever. And then fired up the tractor, and it was running for a second or two, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll just crank it over. And I'll spray some of this stuff in the intake while I'm cranking it over. And I got it, like it was fully running on Brake Clean, and running good too, running real good. And then suddenly it wasn't, and it backfired, and all that unburnt fuel that was sitting in the throat of the intake comes spitting out, and it landed on my hand, and I was like full on Ricky Bobby, like, help me Tom Cruise, help me Oprah Winfrey, help me Jewish God. Like I'm on fire. And I was on fire for a second there. My hand was on fire, the can was on fire, the tractor was on fire. And I just calmly walked over, grabbed a bucket, walked over to the cattle water, come back, dumped a bucket of water in the tractor, and went in for supper. And a lesson was learned. Anyways, I think I found myself on the wrong side of a cup of tea, so I better run in the house, make a cup of tea. That's the British way. Everything is better after a cup of tea. So we'll come back tomorrow, and maybe we can think about dismantling that carburetor properly and getting the old yellow tractor to start. But for now, I'll let you go. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.